hope you make a place in a bear market, just trying to make a way, yeah. And these goblins crowding up the space, but it's kind of funny, so it's all good with me, yeah. Good morning, I hope you live it well. Kind of spread, taking care of yourself, babe. Good morning, I hope you living good. Hopefully this ETH gon' get us out of here. GM, now my wrist so frozen. I just saw the bag, it's a real good morning. And I'm burning on my gas, but I made a couple thousand. It got me saying, GM,
let's go. Welcome to NFT Live Fridays with your boy DJ Savage. We got Tigbo at the top, GIF over here, and Nifty will be here eventually. He's probably out.
He was here.
Yeah. He had to make some crypto donations to the Catholic Church.
That's making an entrance right there. That's how you do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Because I am. It's going to be a good one.
Oh,
you're
Q,
muted there.
what's up, dude?
Yo,
Mute.
dude, a professional here. No, I've been waiting for this portrait of Anthony Bourdain to put up like right here, and they missed me like the past 2 times, and I had to do it. Like they were gonna leave and never have the portrait for me ever again. So I'm sorry I had to do that. But what's up, fellas?
Nothing. This week flew by. How's everyone's week going? Mine seems like it just evaporated. Been super busy working on projects and stuff, and I don't know. I can't believe it's already Friday. What about you, Tig?
Just trying to survive and avoid any hacks happening. That I think we've had one day since the last hack, so that's a good news. But yeah, man, just I feel like not much happening in the space. A few projects came out with some news. I know we have some 10k TF stuff coming out. Moonbirds are chatting up CCO X copy. Other than that, you know, just Potatoes had their town hall today as well. A lot of talk, a lot of bullish sentiment on that. I saw them moving a lot. So yeah, I think that's all I really noticed within the last few hours.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Excited to be here with y'all as always. Our vibe, our tribe. Happy Friday, y'all. That's it. I don't know. I'm just excited to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, and hopefully Nifty Q won't be disappearing to parts unknown throughout the show. We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see if he's here with us.
Tied in. Yo,
yeah, disappearing.
I tried to assemble some level of order to this before we went live, but y'all want to do it live. Yo, we got it, bro. Like, you tell me where we're headed.
We're doing it live.
Yo, Savage was talking about Artsy Monkey right before the show, and I think that this is a fucking dope derivative project that if we weren't doing the show right now, I would be buying. And there was probably going to be some like run up that I'm going to miss completely. So I'm doing it for y'all out there, OVOT. And I'm happy to be here with y'all. The Friday episodes are lit. Digits, Asmodai, Marty McFly, a couple hash rhymes, Khalid. Definitely good to see y'all here today.
Muguzzler's in the house. The Muguzzler. Whoever that is.
That's a bad nickname.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Muguzzler.
That's the reason.
So Savage,
that's
what
why.
you got, Savage?
Yeah, what you got, Savage?
Me? I actually bought some NFTs this morning. There's a new article out there about Google AI turning the BAYC project into derivatives. I'm big into AI. I love researching that stuff. Feels kind of historical to me. And the art is super dope. Super dope. Like one I would be happy to hang in my house one day. I
was checking them out, and they remind me of like the AI Moonbirds I mentioned. Kind of the same similar style and look to them. Definitely dope. I like to take maybe a Gift's take on this because he's been involved with creating projects and stuff. What do you feel the whole AI movement that now a lot of people have access to these programs and kind of seems way easier, kind of puts them together, given some outputs and different keywords or whatever have you? Like, what you as someone who's been the lead of a project and putting art together, what are your thoughts on that? Do you see kind of that being a shift to just a ton of like last minute put together, just kind of slapped on projects, or what are you thinking?
It's definitely going to supercharge the derivative art movement, because every time there's a big project, there's going to be 50 AI projects that follow it up. That's part of the space. It's cool to see which ones sort of pop and get traction and which ones don't. I do think like there's a larger philosophical question that is really interesting, right? So it's like, to your point, Tig, there's the like practical implications of empowering artists with new tools to create, technology driven projects, NFT projects at a scale and a speed that's unprecedented and never before existed. And so, I love the empowerment aspect of it. I love that artists around the world have access to tools to, just let their creativity fly and flourish and do new things that nobody could have ever predicted. Like, that's amazing. And, beyond what AI is doing, there's also a lot of new tools like Bueno.art, which you may or may not have heard of. It's Pablo Stanley, the whole Robotos team. They've been developing this suite of tools for NFT creators that makes, the whole custom pipeline of, how do you do really advanced, sophisticated NFT, rarity distributions and refinements and exceptions. Like, how do you have a custom pipeline for an NFT project for like really, really cheap, that's super sophisticated? How do you do a smart contract that you can customize a bunch of different ways for really cheap without hiring devs for tens of thousands of dollars or more? Like, all of these tools have massive implications for artists and empowering artists, which I think is cool. And then away from the practical side, there's the philosophical question of like, okay, what does this mean for humanity, society writ large, and artists specifically? And the question about like giving, AI that is basically taking a bunch of other artists' work without paying them anything and repurposing that into a tool that is making people money. Like, is that good? Is it good to be handing all of our creative, basically handing creativity more and more over to the robots instead of like taking it out of the hands of the humans? Like, that's fascinating too. Like, we could get into that and like a whole show, but I don't know. I'm just here for the ride and like to see it.
So yeah, a lot of great points made there, Gif. While you're talking there, can you pull up my screen so that we can kind of look at these artsy monkeys specifically? Because to me, these look probably the best out of any of the ape derivatives that I'd actually probably put this up in my house. There's a lot of other great points too, other than just like the aesthetic of the art itself. Like Gif was mentioning, taking the BAYC, like for example, they could have just done their own original work with AI, but I do feel like there's a element where it's going to attract initially that ape community that probably has a little bit more disposable cash, where they're able to say, hey, I want to get my ape, which I think is in and of itself a play. Like, if I wasn't, if I had all the time in the day, I would be trying to find like Makai's apes. I would be trying to find Franklin's apes. And like, if this turns into a thing, they'll probably want to have what seems to be dope aesthetic art, attached to some of their apes. So
are these the actual prices?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought 3 of them this morning. I read this this article and then was like, oh, yep, I gotta do that. They're spiking up.
Yeah, I think Q has a point where I remember when like the AI and the Moonbirds came out, which now they're called Nightbirds. A lot of people were trying to snipe like the more rares because they looked really cool. And I remember being in the Discord and everyone wanted to kind of just match up their Moonbird to whatever token they had or whatever. So I guess you could kind of try to snipe more of the more popular, well-known apes as well. Asmodai brings a good point into the chat where he says that he's kind of tired of seeing these derivatives and probably wants to see this new tech kind of used to create original work. Something different, something that's not correlated or attached to already an existing IP, maybe another project. I think that's something that where this Q, I feel like this that's a good point where like where are the original works being made using this new technology. That's something I would like to see. I know Brian. I share a Discord with Brian Brinkman, and he mentioned he uses AI as well on his own to create certain pieces and kind of tweak and create original pieces from just a creative idea he might have or anything like that. But he also feels like you can't just go in there, throw something together and call it NFT and put it out and sell it. It's got to be some type of level of original idea behind it, and not just just a few words put together and then having the machine do most of the work. I feel like I tend to agree with that. But yeah, I think Asma has a good point. Like, why use this to like, why did Google, I guess Google used it because Bored Apes obviously the biggest project right now in the space. But yeah, I mean, maybe Google could have done something original, and whereas you have Google's first, NFT drop, that's not correlated or related to something that's existing already.
Savage, how are they related to Google themselves? Is like somebody on the team or somebody that like works as an intern at Google like made these? How exactly are they tied into Google?
I think they just used the software.
The Google AI software, right?
I mean, yeah. I didn't read it that close to see if the actual team did it or if someone just used their technology. But they did run 14 million images through it to make these. So I thought that was pretty cool. Here's the three that I bought.
Gif, what was that reaction there, bro? I heard like a is that the price?
I think I just bought that one you just showed. So I'm sitting here like looking at these. I'm gonna pick up a couple. So like, I mean, okay, it's really fascinating. And
which one?
I'm so ambivalent about this because I simultaneously really, really fuck with and agree with the point that like I'm so over derivatives and I really don't see how most of them hold any value because their value is entirely derived from another project, right? Like they have no inherent value. They can't really sustain a community on their own. Yeah, I just bought that one. Because it looks very similar to our ape. I don't think it is the same one, but I just saw it on the floor and I was like, that's almost exactly like our ape. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this one. If it is like one of the first or the first project that is like really, really well known, using a major NFT IP, using the new Google AI, maybe it has some kind of historical relevance. Like the art is pretty cool. So it's like, I'm not going to totally sleep on it, but so, like it's cool. I'll collect one or two just to have them. They're interesting. They'll look cool, somewhere, and maybe they'll pop off. Who knows? But I tend to feel like I wish that these tools were being used for more innovative things. And like the derivatives, I think, are just boring, honestly.
My thought on that is we want the technology to take off and get popular. So they're just going to pick the most popular project. And then from here out, they'll probably start doing other ones. But they're trying to, make the news. And if you want the news for Google AI making something, you choose the biggest project. And a lot of them don't even look like monkeys, which is kind of cool.
The AI Nightbirds, they ran up to like 0.25, 0.28 or some crazy shit like that. Just like I told you, like I was in the Discord when they dropped, and everyone was just trying to snag their matching bird. And then others obviously were just pumping it, and they actually dipped because Kevin Rose asked them, hey, just remove Moonbirds from the project, and I'm totally cool with it, no problem. So they just changed the name to Nightbirds, and they took off again. I think I sold like a few like for 0.25 or some crazy shit like that. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like these things could run up just because Bored Apes are not behind it, but it's correlated with Bored Apes using the image and stuff like that, and people trying to match up their apes or trying to snipe some of the more popular rare apes. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Like you said, I'm kind of over derivatives. It's kind of game played out already now. Same thing with free mints now. As I say, like these AI things are just being created for free mints now, and people are dropping them every day. And you see these things being minted out as like the holder count is ridiculous because people are minting like 100 at one time. But yeah, I mean, who knows? These things could always take off just for random reasons. Maybe someone gets behind it. Some of the bigger apes start tweeting about it or whatever have you. So you never know. Get that back.
So DeKensis is in the chat saying, "Yo, here for the sentient AI NFT creation alpha." This is a dope conversation, man, because there's like a lot of different ways it can go. But we've been talking all week about NFT collectibles, and this is how I look at it. This is more of a collectible play than a community play, and I do feel like some derivative projects cloak themselves in this like we're going to be a community after this, which maybe these monkey art, artsy monkey pieces do, but really I'm looking at it as a pure collectible play, and in that way, I don't see it being that much of a negative because they do look dope. The one thing I wish or maybe they could have done, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of 50-50, the token gating this to apes, right? Like it would have been dope to get your ape, in that portrait, but it might be too much on the token gated side.
the numbers aren't lined up. So I think they took the original art, but then they randomized it. So like, cause I actually think that the one that I got may actually be our ape, but the number is different. And then when I looked at our actual token number of our ape, it's a totally different one. So they don't line up. I don't believe.
They're not making it that easy.
Well, visually though, right?
Wow, Gift doesn't know his own token by memory.
9307, baby. Yeah, no, I do.
I don't know mine either. It's fine. I don't know my Moonbird token.
What?
Sure. I don't know it.
Yeah, but they don't match up. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
I
think the art's dope. This is one that I'd actually hang in my house. I'd frame this one, put it up. You know, looks cool as a background desktop. So.
Yeah, I think like for someone like Q. So oh, there you go. I think someone for like Q who has his ape and probably will keep it for a long time. I mean, yeah, getting something this cheap and, you know, printing it out, having it hang on your wall, I think alongside your other ape, I think it's something dope to kind of to keep at your home or whatever. So yeah, I agree with that as far as the collectible standpoint. But I'm not counting on these to like, you know, get rich off these or pump to 1 ETH or whatever. I mean, it could happen, crazy shit happens. But yeah, as far as the collectible goes, yeah, it's a cool thing to have. But as far as like considering like original work or anything like that, I just, you know, it's definitely a derivative, and you know, that's how I kind of feel about it.
Hey man, this is super original.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. With pretty much everybody around the table, I think you guys raised a lot of good points on this Artsy Monkey and derivative kind of movement that we've seen over the past year, something like that, that's getting kind of played out. But this seems to have been a little bit different in my opinion, just because, you know, I've laid this out already, guys. We are on NFT Live. We're laying out a bunch of stuff here for the rest of the episode. Please leave a like. It does help us get the word out about the episode. If this is your first time here, we're doing like a roundtable discussion. Yeah, it's right there. It gives one. It might be over that way.
Let's go.
But we are doing this every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Although Mondays, GIF, I see your name there on the schedule sheet to help me out on Mondays. I haven't been able to pull it off yet. I apologize, but we are trying to run these Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We have content all throughout the entire week. Savage is hosting this episode of NFT Live as well. So definitely good to see everybody in here as we just get started.
It was difficult hosting this one too. I rearranged my computer yesterday and accidentally hit the flash BIOS button on my tower. It broke everything. I didn't have sound out of like Chrome or Brave for hours. I was super frustrated. My vMix isn't working properly. I got an echo in my head. We're making it work though. We're making it work.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
That's right.
Speaking of derivatives, I actually got into the rare ape pepes. I don't know if you guys get into the rare ape pepes. The reason why it's kind of like a double derivative because it's apes and the pepes, and then the reason behind it is because the original artist created one of the most like famous memes of it. So the artist behind it actually is well known in the space and has some following in it, and they kind of went up. They went up to like it was a free mint that went up to like 0.25 or 0.26, which is like, I think those I'm talking about, like when the derivatives have some kind of cultural meaning behind, like memes and shit like that. I think that's kind of where I see it being something cool, something different, because it has that, you know, for whatever reason, people just fucking love memes and they just love buying shit that's related to anything like that. Yeah, the papers, man. And so when this is like a double derivative, I feel like I got into it. Like I said, people buying them up, they look cool. The art is by an actual docs artist. That's why I feel like those are the kind of projects you could kind of take a swing on and see what happens. Whereas this other like just random ass derivatives that, you know, people are minting like 100 at once, all that stuff. Like that's why I feel like the quality of the work is different, and that's kind of I feel like the difference in derivatives is where I see different tiers of quality and the way, you know, they're kind of put out to the public.
I'm waiting for the rare ape Pepe birds, bro. I don't know. Like I feel like that's gonna be the one.
That's that triple derivative.
Yeah. Third time is a charm, and so when you keep stacking the projects together, I feel like, you know, I'm going to go with the odd number collaborations. It's my strategy.
Yeah.
Rare Pepe Bird Yeti is going to be fucking taking over Q4. It's happening.
Yo, Yetis are pumping, dude. Yetis are fucking pumping right now.
I've looked
they're
at
like
them
0.16 or some shit. Yes, they're like 0.16 or something the other day I saw.
2x.
And it was like the 1 year anniversary.
Everyone
it was like
talks
the 1
shit.
year anniversary.
Was mint price 0.08? Do you remember that, Tig?
No, 0.1.
It was
I think
0.1. 0.1.
Yeah, 0.1.
I remember because we minted.
So we're
that's
over.
the sign.
So
that's the sign of a true OG. By the way, if you minted a Yeti, put it in the chat. Let us know. Let us know your OG status in the chat right now.
If you were there during the FUD, please let us know because there was mad FUD between that thing minting out. I actually got a free Yeti.
Do y'all know what a
won
cheese?
it on Twitter.
You won a Yeti on Twitter?
Yeah, I did like a retweet and I won, so I was able to mint one for free. So that was cool.
I've been watching that
Have you
community
guys
for a
heard
while.
of Cheese Wizards?
I always thought it was too expensive though.
Yes,
Cheese Wizards
was a great game. I didn't really get into it, but I'm very familiar because we looked at it a lot when we were developing Witchy GF. So
that's a true OG.
Wizards.
If that's a classic Dapper goes to the fucking graveyard though. Like Dapper has created so many different projects and then they just go to the graveyard for the most part. But if you know about Cheese Wizards, you are also an OG.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference between that and a rug, right? Like, I feel like a lot of these big like we were talking about Wax and some of these others that are like creating these platforms where they're licensing and they're just like putting out a bunch of projects all at once and then they don't support them at all. Like, I think at some point, like we have to start to look sideways at a lot of these companies, these bigger companies, as like y'all are just rugging the community too. If there's no real support or intention to keep building any of these projects that they're launching, like it's kind of fucked up.
I mean, I'm sure we could count. I don't even know how many times, but how many of these projects within the last 6 months, like within the last 6-8 months, where we're kind of on the bull market still, they made millions off the mints alone, and haven't done anything since. There's no updates, Discords, like whatever. The team doesn't really active on Twitter or social stuff like that. I feel like that's also considered like a slow rug, just because you're kind of or even like let's say, even if it's any type of roadmap and nothing is even followed up on that or whatever, it's just kind of this empty promises. I feel like that's also, you could consider it, even though the team is there and whatever, the floor price might not be zero. I feel like that's still kind of a slow rug because, it's just, they have this, supposedly all this money they made off mint and haven't really utilized it for the community or whatever, So I think Giv has a good point there. Those are, I think I consider those slow rugs, not complete full rugs.
Yeah, that's fair. The Dapper has had a lot of flack for some of that too. It's not like they're kind of going under the radar for a lot of what they've done. They often cloak it in like experimentation. We're experimenting with this new like way that we can gamify NFTs, and it's like, okay, well, I just lost out of $500, but you
mint price 2.25 on this experiment.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And I remember. Sorry, just real quick. I remember when Buffalo bought the Yeti, the gold Yeti. I don't know how much he bought it for. He bought one? Like, I don't know how much he bought it for.
He bought it at regular price. Like it wasn't he didn't overpay.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy, right? Yeah. I remember that. And I'm sorry, like now he's probably up on that. So maybe not, I don't know, because ETH price is down, but he might be up on ETH, but not USD value. But I mean, there you go.
Hey, that just means it's a loss on your taxes. I mean, down on ETH when you sell it, that just means you made some ETH gains, but it looks like a loss on your taxes.
Knowing Buffalo, he's still holding
win.
that thing.
Yeah, somebody was selling the CryptoPunk recently for like an $8 million loss or something like that for tax harvesting, which is crazy.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much he makes a year because you're only allowed to write off a certain portion.
Yeah.
Speaking of Crypto Buffalo, thank you for getting me into Subducks. I appreciate that. There have been a lot of things that I've gotten flack at, Super Yetis being one of them, but apparently it's up. So I need to have a talk with Crypto Buffalo here about some of the things that. Go ahead.
I think the Yeti thing is also like, if you're an OG, you remember you were here for the mint. You remember that it had that meme potential now because it's just like a cultural reference of the space. Super Yetis, because the art was so bad. It was like hyped up and all this shit, and like it was just so bad once it revealed. So like I feel like if you remember it, I think the meme potential of just being a cultural reference is what kind of kept it where it's at, and now it's kind of like little by little, people have been accumulating these things. You can see people are buying them up for whatever reason. So yeah, I feel like that's the potential has it.
Yeah. If you're gonna rug, be the first to rug, right? Like be the best, be the best at rugging, and then you will be important eventually.
You know, Asmodai is saying Artifact and CloneX communities are teaching Blender and generating creators. Thinking Drippy's playing your classes too. What are other communities doing? I think that's a good point. Like noticing which communities are doing it well. Although community coming out of my mouth sounds like stained at this point. Like it sucks that it's gotten to that point, but we say it so much that it feels like it just lost a lot of its value. Marty McFly said he minted 10 Artsy monkeys, so he's front running some of us who plan on getting in afterwards, but we are also moving markets. So I don't know if you got
he meant 10 monkeys or 10 yetis. Might be 10 yetis.
No, this was no. This was before.
No?
This was before.
Okay.
He definitely, if he meant to 10 yetis, that's pretty legit.
Marty was around.
Yeah,
I remember Marty was around for this. Yeah, I remember Marty was around for this. It might have been yetis. If it's not, I don't know. They're probably long gone now, but he definitely had a
Yeti
nice
whale.
bag there.
Yeti whales in the chat. Let's fucking go.
I did see that thing about the Artifact, because I guess they gave you the tools to kind of tweak and edit your actual PFP. Because I saw some people posted it on Twitter. I didn't understand it because I know you have to open it in the program and fuck around with it and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool that they're giving you the access even to these things to kind of tweak it and own it yourself, you know? Look, Marty, 10 Yetis. Marty's a
10 Yetis.
A Yeti
10
whale.
Yetis. Gangster.
There you go.
Wow.
See?
Do you still
This
have
man was
them?
ahead of
though?
the times, bro.
Do you still have them? Long gone.
Long gone.
Long gone. Well, you know.
Should have hodled at least
Yetis-
1 or 2, bro.
I agree with the overall sentiment.
One moonshot.
I agree with the overall sentiment here that the Yetis are like cockroaches of the NFT space. Like they are never going away. Everything else could go to zero. Yetis, just on the meme potential, will stick around.
Yeah. I tell you,
Bro,
it's the
Maybe
meme.
they would
The
have
meme
done
potential is so
better
powerful.
now, because I know OpenSea's got that gifting feature where you can make it look like someone, minted something that they didn't. So I know Gary V's been all over Twitter saying, "Don't buy what it looks like I buy," because you can purchase it and send it to someone else's wallet. So
Yeah.
people have been exploiting that. Like if you're using a wallet tracker, like a whale wallet tracker, it'll say, "Hey, Gary went and minted this," and then everyone apes in reality, it's just DJ Savage buying it and sending it to his wallet. Being crafty like that.
I think Marty makes a good point of why I remember like there was so much FUD around Yetis because there was so much hype, and then point one at that time was kind of expensive. Because I recall, I think like Gutter Cats had just come out as well too, and they minted cheaper than that. Obviously, Bored Apes were already around with the hype. But yeah, I remember point one being like, it's kind of expensive, and I remember they minted out and stayed at point one. Like there was no pump, there was nothing. They just literally minted out and stayed at the same price, and people just started dumping them. So yeah, at the time, it's crazy to think back on it. Like point one was a kind of big deal, but today, like. I guess now because in the bear market, it does kind of seem expensive as well. But some projects are minting out still to like 0.2, 0.3. Ledger pointed out 0.3 just a week or two ago, So yeah, it's pretty funny that Marty mentions how expensive that was back then, which kind of feels expensive today as well.
I was waiting for it to hit. I was waiting for it to hit 0.02, and I was going to buy one, but they stayed at like 0.07 or something forever, so I never got one.
Yeah.
VMix. Fix the lag issue, VMix. Like, do we have to move to a whole nother fucking software? Like, Jesus Christ, we can't even like speak to each other here on this goddamn app. Tig, I see you wearing the gang right now. That's another one.
Yeah.
And we're going off the rails on this episode. So topics galore. But what's up with the fucking Gutter Cats, man? I thought that would have been a project that honestly, I haven't checked the floor price on the OG cats, but like
I think we're sitting at 6. Yeah, so it's funny because the whole thing with Gutter Cats, I kind of they did the whole thing in New York City, which was dope. But before that, I kind of felt like they kind of been keeping quiet after the whole clone drop, just because they had talking about the roadmap as far as token goes, as Gutter or Gang token was gonna come out. And there's a bunch of legalities about that, so they haven't really been talking about it too much, I guess, until they kind of have everything settled and kind of cleared. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because like Gutter Cats to me were always one of those that team that was always doing something, always building, and always kind of staying active. And then they kind of slowed down with the whole Gang token thing. Then they rolled out the clones, which took way too long, and like it was like a span of a month to reveal or some crazy thing like that. Yeah, it was just weird. And that was kind of weird to me because they've kind of rolled out things pretty smoothly and well. And I think the way they just kind of did the whole clone reveal and rollout was just mad slow and just killed all momentum. They were selling for 1 ETH the first night, the clones, and then they just bottomed out like 0.12 or something, 0.1. But they have the Vegas Gutter Con is coming up right now in Vegas here in September. So I know that's what's happening now. That's gonna be pretty dope. These guys, I gotta give them. They put on a hell of events. Like they really go all out on their events, and they definitely make you feel like, okay, like this is a team putting money behind these events in real life events and meetups, which is I think a cool part of the Web3 that we're kind of experiencing more often now. But as far as any other thing coming out, as far as updates, I haven't really heard much of that. Speaking of tokens, I just randomly remember, just speaking of like gang, Zed token dropped. And if you were holding Zed Genesis horses and you're an OG, because that was some of the old shit too that came out. Like I remember Zed like kicked off my bankroll just because from flipping those freaking horses. But I actually got the token airdrop finally. Zed was actually dropped last week, and you can still claim it if you go on there. But it ain't worth much, but I think it's pretty cool to see that actually rolled out, and they've been mentioning and teasing it for a long time. So I kind of feel like they kind of got their stuff situated and cleared and legally done correctly. I feel like you can expect the same thing from the gang token and Gutter Cat gang, and Gutter Dan, is always busy doing something, always active in the space. So yeah, I mean, I'm still bullish on them. Obviously, the floor price is not where it is, what it was, but I mean, every project's kind of retraced. But just the fact, I feel like the OG collection still sitting at 6 is pretty solid right now in the space. So I mean, I'll take it. I have no. It's funny because I actually thought about like, should I just sell it? Like, when you get in the bear market blues and you're like, should I just fucking sell everything? Like, just peace out, take my ETH, and just just get out. But I don't know. I don't think I could ever sell my cat. It was like one of the biggest. I bought it for like 0.18. At that time, I was like, oh my god, I just spent 0.18 on NFT, and today I'll drop like 0.5 on something like without even blinking. But yeah, I feel like it has that sentimental value for me. It's like one of my biggest purchases and one of my oldest holdings that I have. So I'm bullish on the team. They haven't done anything for me to kind of stray away from them. But yeah, I think like what Giff was saying, like they're definitely not one of those projects that just kind of slow rug people and don't get updates. They're constantly updating. They now have like good opportunities for like pre-sale access to different projects, which has been solid as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it has its benefits. The floor price might not be as high as it once was, but like I said, the team's always building. Gutter Dan's a good dude that we've spoken to and had on this show personally. So yeah, I'm bullish on the team, man, and I definitely want to hit up GutterCon. It's gonna be sick, but yeah, I'm still holding on to them. So it is what it is.
Yeah, for a little while, it felt like the Gutter Cats were going to be like they're up in the blue chip status, honestly, because they were relatively new. They were like in that first cohort of PFP projects, but I still think they're doing well, to your point. And I just don't want to get eviscerated by the gang when Jacob eventually clips this into a clip and throws up toxicity or something. Which, Jacob, do that again and see what happens with the gang. I want to make sure that they're still good. But we're going to get on to the next topic here. Marty McFly did say Ape claim tomorrow 10K TF if you have been participating in that. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sure it's something I missed out on. But one thing you don't want to miss out on, and Tig, I want to get your thoughts on that. You seem to know what's going on. Do not miss Speakeasy every fucking Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. They are going to be, if they don't get canceled first, because we have a contractual obligation of 5 episodes. If they do not get canceled in 5 episodes, then this show is going to be fucking awesome. And everybody that was there knows what happened. And I'm just saying, these guys are going to be a star. It's, of course, Easy in Crypto, who's had Easy Street. We rebranded it to Speak Easy. And now Kane Mayfield, the indomitable Kane Mayfield on the mic, is going to be heading that up. So definitely check that out. I want to give them a quick shout out because last night was hilarious. So
that show is a shot of adrenaline. That was my first time joining last night. It's just like gets you going, gets the people going. Kane knows what he's doing for sure.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to. I just listened to that episode right before this one. I couldn't listen to it last night. My PC was broken. I had no sound, so I missed it. But it was super fun listening to before this episode. I found out Giff was newly single. So if you're out there and you're digging that beard, maybe slide into his DMs.
Beard gang.
It's got to be the hair.
The hair? The beard? The necklace,
Bro,
it's
of
one
course,
them.
Tinder rugs their
ape?
metaverse as soon as I'm single after 4 years.
Yep.
They take away their metaverse because they knew that it'd probably be too much for them to handle. They knew that I was coming in hot and that I was just gonna like absolutely slay the game, and so they had to pull it down before the carnage ensued.
Well,
Gift Daddy was coming, and they felt
There
it.
were Tinder coins. Is Tinder coins? Is this like a stripper service? What's going on? Is this like?
hey, they didn't cancel it. They just said it's on pause right now. They see all the other applications in this space like Facebook or whoever just losing massive money. So I think they just put it on pause. They'll probably still do it. The Tinderverse will happen. You'll meet up with other locals in your area in AI or virtual reality for sure. I mean, hopefully they just look like their avatar. Maybe not.
What wasn't it like? Was that a troll thing that the apes created like a dating app, but they had to cancel it because too many dudes signed up?
That was not a troll. They actually thought that would work.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's like
Like
99 dudes to every one woman on there.
Like who's the genius behind that? Like, come on, man. Like, what did you expect? Have you not been to these parties? Have you not been to these events? Have you not seen the ratios in these?
They're
things?
getting
Like,
better. They're getting better.
Oh yeah.
To be
for sure,
fair,
for sure.
I saw a tweet
places.
just before this show. Somebody was like, I went into a Starbucks wearing my BAYC hoodie, and the barista wrote her phone number on my cup. And I'm just like, really, bro? Really? Did that actually happen?
Wait, like a
If
kennel
so,
club owner did that? Did you say bake?
No, BAYC. Well, yeah, BAYC.
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, I say it that way sometimes, but like,
bake. Okay, I see it.
yeah, but I mean, look, if that's true, bro, good for you. Maybe the women are starting to understand the value of these monkey JPEGs, and so those baristas are trying to, hook up with some monkeys.
That
But
never happened.
That's not a good way to pick a female, anyways.
I don't think it happened either. I
agreed.
think that was I think that's front, but
You gonna get a
Savage.
gold
That
digger?
is the.
Yeah.
That is the exact opposite way that you want to meet chicks too, because wear a Super Yeti shirt and see if she still likes you. If she likes you there you got to keep her. Just because you got a BAYC shit on, that's dangerous.
that's how
Playing
you
with fire.
know. That's how you know she's a real one right there for sure. She's fucking with you when you're rocking your Yeti gear. Damn.
Yeah,
That's a real one.
if she met you when you were rocking Yetis, she's gonna love you when you're rocking apes. All right, that's how it goes. All right, but yeah, overall, I think that was a bad idea for a dating app with whatever apes holders or whatever the hell it was. But it was just funny to see like plans of rolling out ape dating app. not going well. It was like 95% male signed up.
Hey, well,
But yeah, it sucks to see a gift not be able to slay the Tinderverse, but
hey,
still hope out there.
you know what? Maybe you'll just be able to go into your local Starbucks and you'll get a bunch of numbers on your coffee. They're starting to do reward programs.
I'm wearing some make today. Maybe I gotta go to Starbucks. I gotta go to every Starbucks within 5 mile radius and order the same order and see which baristas are down.
I watch a lot of clowning stuff on YouTube. I like when they put the first name and second name together. That sounds funny. Barista calls it out. Childish stuff you watch on YouTube.
Savage, can we see that topic again? You give us like 0.5 seconds to like speed run the topic. What's happening here?
Starbucks is doing a Web3 rewards program. I think Tenacious Taco is also doing it. So here's a Canadian one. Tenacious Tacos. Sounds so awesome. America can't have something that cool. It's got to be in Canada.
They need some hex sauce. I'm gonna be hitting these folks up for a partnership with some DB's hex sauce because that's what they need to really make it pop. If they want these tacos to sell,
Says the guy that does not put any seasoning on his chicken.
Bro, you gotta call me out like that for real.
I'm doing it. It's deserved.
Listen, the last week I shouted out hex sauce because that thing is delicious. I put it on my eggs in the morning. It's sweet and it's tangy and it's just good. So I shout out, the whole DB's crew, give everybody, because I got a bottle. He hooked me up. He delivered came to me and said, "Here, try this out." He handed it me. I thanked him. I took it home with me and I tried it and it was delicious. So shout out to the hex sauce. Is that you're probably gonna be seeing it soon everywhere. So definitely we got the alpha access to it, so definitely worth it. It was delicious, man. Like it's not spicy, it's sweet, and you can put it on anything. I like stuff on my eggs. Like I like hot sauce, but I just want to try the hex sauce, and it was perfect. Good
I
job.
like bacon on
Y'all
my
heard
eggs.
it here. Yeah, bacon. It's good with everybody. Y'all heard it here first. Tig took it home with him. So I mean, first date.
Yeah,
Drop it
Nah,
in
alpha
chat. What are
access,
you
man.
eating for breakfast, and do you want hex sauce on that shit?
Put that shit on everything.
Let them know. Let them know.
When I read this Canadian taco article, I actually was kind of impressed because they were talking about Bubblegum Shrimp Company and Rainforest Cafe, and both of those are located in the Mall of America, right by me. And I have my Super World NFT in Nickelodeon Universe, so whenever they decide to open that back up, maybe I'll get some foot traffic over on my my VR NFT purchase. Hey, we're throwing back to LADZ City Radio way back in the day.
I was just gonna say,
purchased a couple of those.
I remember that radio episode when we had them on. I think Easy had them on too, or something like that. But yeah, that's funny you say Super World. I remember that thing.
Yeah. Hey, I got a couple rides in the Mall of America. Figure that's a lot of foot traffic, right? A lot of kids going there. Hey, a lot of kids
Hash
are
Rhyme
into NFTs.
says
Let's go.
hex sauce on the hot dogs.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, let's
Oh, I got my
go.
Kongs hat on.
Listen,
That's
whatever.
the collab.
Yeah, I'm have to order some more because I'm already like through mine already. But if you heard it here first, cop that hex sauce, put it on everything. It tastes good. Boom. Cut
Yo,
that,
yeah,
it's
cut
gonna
that
be
for the
on-
promo.
Yeah, it's gonna be online soon. But I went to Mall of America for the first time when I was in Minneapolis for VCon, and yeah, man, that's a good spot to be getting your Super World. I guess I got like 10 Super World plots. That was one of my first NFTs. And did y'all talk to Harish? Is that who you're talking about? Y'all brought Harish on?
Oh, I don't know.
I think
All
I don't
right,
remember.
now
who
we're
it
playing the
was,
name
but,
game. We're playing the name game now.
Yeah.
That's all good. Let's skip that one.
Yeah, that was
Well,
like a year ago. I feel.
Did you buy good
It had
locations?
to be like.
I bought sentimental locations, places that are close to my heart, like Barcelona, places like that.
I remember that project.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, one day it might take off when Google Glasses comes out. I'm all about it.
Wasn't it like a
Yo.
0.1 mint as well? I think
It was
it was 0.1.
I think it was like 0.2. It was expensive. I spent way too much, and whatever. Those were some of my first NFTs. I thought like, yeah, this Metaverse thing, this is gonna be real, but I didn't know enough about it. But who knows? Again, to Savage's point, it's still early. They've got a thing, they've got a community, they've got holders. Maybe it's gonna be big.
Hey,
They got
VR is
bag
going to be
holders.
huge.
VR AR.
Love it.
is
All
gonna
right,
be big.
yo, we're gonna move on to the next topic real quick. I want to give a quick shout out to the chat, to Kansas, Marty McFly, Savage is in chat and hosting, so multi-talented here. Khalid, Tigbo's also in chat, so you guys are just getting after it. Guys, this is NFT Live. We're touching on the NFT weekly news. One piece that I do want to hit real quick, if you guys can also like the episode before we drop this topic, but Jimmy.eth, and I'm gonna pull up my screen, is bringing up some CCO summer stuff here with looks like a Moonbirds derivative. So CCO Moonbirds, to give us what's the latest here on the copyright pieces here within the Moonbirds ecosystem, man, because I think it's a dope story.
Hold on, I'm trying to tell Jimmy before everyone. I'm trying to front run everybody else. So yesterday, Kevin Rose tweeted out that they decided to make the Moonbirds collection CCO, so common creative, meaning that anyone can use the likeness or image of your Moonbird for whatever they want. To give a example, what that could look like, Winnie the Pooh is CCO, so anybody can use Winnie the Pooh for whatever they want, create cartoons, T-shirts, or whatever have you. I'm sure you probably heard or seen the infamous horror movie, the Winnie the Pooh, that I think was just released in theaters or straight to video, DVD, whatever the hell it was. But so people could use your Moonbird, your bird image, put it on a taco stand or whatever have you, and they have every right to it. You can't sue them. You can't really tell them to take it down. There's no rights to it that infringes on the IP, as long but you still own the IP because you own the token, but everyone has the right to use the likeness of it. The thing that they can't do is they can't use the trademark of Moonbirds. So you can't put Moonbirds anywhere. All that is still trademarked. So there's a difference between copyrighted and trademarked, obviously. So the CCO just gives them everyone ground to basically use your image. They can make stickers. They can make all that shit without owning the Moonbird, without owning the token or anything have you. It's kind of weird because my sentiment I've seen on Twitter and on the Discord, it's a little bit half and half. Some people think it's a good thing because it's just making the brand bigger, giving access to a lot more people to use it and basically, use it for different areas, whether it's clothing or movie rights, TV rights, book deals, whatever have you. But other people are like, well, I bought this bird because I want to own the IP. I want to make this my brand. So, I think people that identify whatever PFP they have on their Twitter or whatever app, they kind of identify that as their brand. They kind of build this up. I could see that being as like a shitty thing now because, you definitely spend time and probably money just kind of building your brand. Let's say someone like Kiki, who has her ape as a big brand and the apes did a CCO, that kind of, I guess, tarnish what she's been kind of working on because then anyone could use her ape on anything without her giving the okay to use her ape or the likeness of her ape. So I could see both ends of this. Honestly, the Discord was pretty not bullish, bearish on it yesterday, and they were kind of freaking out about it. But realistically, how many of these owners are actually going to do anything with the IP? How many of these owners are going to create restaurants or food trucks or get a book deal out of these things? Not many, I would say. So I feel like this really only applies to maybe 5% of owners, 10% of owners are actually going to do something with it. So you see, yeah, so you're right there, you're highlighting the trademarks. So it says that with the trademarks, they're going to build actually a Moonbird DAO. And then you can be able to oversee and license the actual Moonbird trademark for specific, I guess, projects or commercialization of it. So there are going to be certain things that you are going to be able to license it, but it's going to have to be approved by the DAO. So the weird thing about this DAO is this is kind of, people feel like Kevin Rose is going to create a Moonbird DAO, and it almost feels like a Satoshi kind of event where he's almost creating a DAO, giving this to the community because obviously that's how a DAO works. And then we're going to be making decisions on how things are going to be licensed and used as far as using the trademark and all that stuff. But people feel like, okay, he just made CCO. They're going to make a DAO. It's almost like he's handing these things off. And I almost feel like the Satoshi event where Satoshi kind of, did his thing, gave the project to the community, did an open edition and just dipped out. And that was the end of that, But Kevin kind of addressed that, saying, hey, we're not going anywhere. This is something that we've been thinking about for a long time. I feel like, he's been working with Gremplin a lot with oddities, and I know he's been an advisor for certain things. Gremplin's art is obviously CCO as well. All the toads are CCO, so anyone can use them. I feel like he might have rubbed all that off on Kevin Rose. Me personally, I don't know how I feel about it. To me, the bird is just an image. I'm more bullish on the token and what that token is going to give me access to in the future. Whatever proof is the proof ecosystem is building out. I feel like that's what I'm bullish on. The bird is just an image. I don't create it as my identity. People change their PFPs all the time. But like I said, others are building this brand, building this image of using their ape or whatever have you. So I don't know. To me, I personally, I was kind of iffy about it yesterday. I kind of thought about it more today. I don't see it as a bad thing. Some people start, flooring their birds. It dipped down to like 13 ETH this morning. And then it went back up to like 17, 18. I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing, like to spread awareness of the brand, spread awareness of just the images and all that stuff, letting more people have access to this stuff, and I feel like that part is good. But as a holder, I don't know. I think a lot of people are still kind of debating what if it's good or not, because I feel like they don't fully understand what that means.
Yeah, Marty McFly saying bad move to do after mint. Dickens is saying don't see enough poo NFTs. Marty McFly is also saying spaces right now. I guess there's a spaces happening right now on the CCO.
Yeah, so
I agree with
you. Yeah, they're hosting their spaces now.
Okay, so I will definitely check that out after. Do not leave right now. Do not press exit and then go to Twitter or anything like that. Stay here. We're only going to be here for like another 15 minutes, and then you can go check out this spaces here on CCO.
Yeah,
I do agree with Marty McFly there. I think that this is kind of what the funniest part about that whole thing is that it could have been a DAO led, like they could have got the DAO together and it could have been a DAO led agreement, right? It could have been, hey, what does the community think? And I think most people would have said no, because most people, again, did get their they're obviously Moonbirds before the actual decision was made by these guys, of course. But it's just an interesting way to cap off that thread there that you saw from Kevin Rose, because a DAO could have handled this and they could have actually gotten community sentiment, as opposed to Kevin Rose saying, this is what I think's best for Moonbirds, which I guess he has every right to, but it's just not a Web3, mentality to have.
And I think that's what that's where the biggest flood came from, was because why wasn't this kind of laid out beforehand before the mint, right? Because if you go to the website, it literally says, when the Moonbirds website says you own the IP, specific words right there. The first point of why Moonbirds are great is because you own the IP. Technically, you still own it, but now you just have limited rights to it, whereas people could, use.
You don't own it. No, you don't. No, let's be clear. You don't own it if everybody owns it. Like if it belongs to the streets, it's not yours, right? And so what they did is. No, so what they did is they made a gamble. And they said, if we basically take a utility away from the community and give it's basically to the larger community instead of to the individuals in the community. They said, we're going to take away the right for you to own your specific token, with the idea that we can grow the larger pie for everybody if it's more accessible as a brand, to Tigbo's point, that everybody can go do anything. So it's like you're possibly helping people in the community just by having those tokens, and maybe they increase in value long term because you're holding it, but you're also taking away their ability to really kind of own that outright, because anybody can take their tokens and create brands off of it too. So yes, they can go do that, but anybody can. So you don't actually own any sort of, like, you can't protect your IP, so you don't own it. I totally agree with the sentiment that, like, if they were promoting that you own that IP when they sold it and then they changed that, I think that's fucked up. What it reminds me of is Coinbase. When I staked my ETH, the APY was at a certain level, and then they kept changing the APY, but you can't take your ETH out still. Like, they should give you an option to decide, right? So it's like that communication and actually being community first, instead of, to your point earlier, Nifty Q, about using this idea of like, oh, but we are a DAO, we're community first, when you're actually putting that at the end after you're making all the top-down decisions, right? So it's like, I feel like the DAO thing is kind of like a Band-Aid, where they're saying like, okay, no, we are for the community, we're going to give you all the choice, after they're already making these top-down decisions. Yeah. And look, I'm not a Moonbird, I'm not in it, it's not my place. These are just my thoughts on, like, again, like the community versus actually being community first. What does that look like? And anytime that people advertise something and get people to buy in at a really high price and then basically change it, to me, that's like a mini rug. Like, that's like you just screwed over a bunch of people in your community that bought in for a specific utility.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, that was the biggest FUD behind it yesterday, saying that, this definitely should have been laid out before minting and all that stuff, because obviously now that changes things. And like I said, a bunch of people were just just bitching about it, like, oh, well, now IP rights, but like, half these people are not gonna do anything with those IP rights. Let's be honest, they're just there for price to go up. Okay.
The one, so that's the one other thing.
Dude, go ahead.
One other thing, just on the topic of CC0, and like one of the reasons why it's interesting to see how this plays out. First of all, distributed IP, shared IP is really kind of a new thing. And like, we don't actually know the bigger implications. We're just starting to see what this looks like, with like Bored Apes being an Old Navy, but like they share that IP, and that's different. And one of the things with CC0 is that you cannot really protect it. It's fully accessible to anybody, and there's not really a legal framework for you to go after bad actors. And so, like, we have a custom licensing agreement for DBs and WGGF that does stipulate that if you go use DB's art for like a hate group, if you want to be a Nazi or do something really, really awful that damages the community, we can actually do something about that, right? And so when you're CC0, like, I don't really think you have any ability to control what comes in and out of the community, or what's your community is affiliated with, good or bad. And so it's like, maybe it really helps it get to a bigger global audience, but also what happens when, the Proud Boys adopt the Moonbirds, the Moonbirds as their icon.
That was Pranksy's thing too. Pranksy was like, what happens when a extremist group, puts a Moonbird on their flag? You can't do anything about it, So you're giving access to the wrong hands as well, like, because it's like you said, it's open season for anyone who wants to use your likeness or bird or your IP for whatever they want. What were you gonna say, Q?
No, I just push back a lot because my utility for PFP projects and my thesis is digital identity. So when you say, oh, you're not going to do much of that, it's like, well, I feel attachment, to my, what I think is my identity in the metaverse.
For sure.
If that it can be taken, like, it's like if someone put a fucking billboard of me on the highway to a certain company, it's like, that's me, like that's how I feel in the metaverse. If you're doing that in the metaverse, I feel the same.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Like now, a company, your local butcher shop could grab your ape and put it in front of their store because apes are now CC0. So that's the thing that people have a problem with. But my point was like, there are people who are going to use the IP as their identity, as their brand. They are going to build things with that. But I would say for most of the people, most of the community, not a lot of people are going to have that type of kind of like, I guess, chance to do that or put them together with it, So it goes hand in hand. Like I said, the community was, I think, we're taken back by it because it was kind of a shocker and surprise that came out of nowhere. And like I said, a lot of people were just butthurt because they're like, oh, now we don't own an IP, we don't have rights, we can't legally defend ourselves if like Gift said, something happens where this ends up in the wrong place, something that you're not affiliated with, like your ape is being used by something you might not believe in or you're just totally against, what I'm saying? So that's where it kind of becomes like, what happens there, and you have no legal reason to protect yourself.
Speaking of NFTs as identity, do you guys identify with any of your college books?
What in that? Dude, you have A+ segues? That was on the like D- scale.
Hey! I tell you what, I paid a lot of money for my college textbooks, and they're still sitting at my dad's house in the garage just because I couldn't sell them for 1/20th of what they were originally worth. So I have like 30 pounds of college textbooks sitting there collecting dust. But now Pearson's is saying they're going to attach NFTs to them, and instead of just making money on the first sale, they're going to make money on every single sale. Maybe a little bit of evil in the NFT space. We'll use that to close out this NFT Live episode. It's the future, guys. It's the future. And if you think NFTs aren't going to be big, just wait till all these kids start buying these college textbooks. It's happening.
I think this is great. Because those people rug you when you try to sell them back to them at like 1/10 of the price. I guess this is kind of, you own it outright. You could sell it to whoever, by token transfer or whatever have you. So I think it's cool. I think, you definitely make more money that way instead of having to, like I said, buy this thing, sell this thing back for pennies of what you pay for it,
They're probably going to still sell for pennies, but Pearson's is getting a portion of those pennies because they want a portion of every sale. Like someone made a nice little bonus inside this Pearson's business meeting. They're saying, how are we going to increase sales? We only make money off the first sale. Oh, these NFTs are flying. Let's make money on every sale.
I don't want this to go to like a Alex Jones podcast, but the college education system as a business and infrastructure as a whole needs to be absolutely nuked from the ground up just to rise again.
Hey, you can learn most stuff free.
College textbooks being one of those
huge hidden costs that they don't tell you when you're getting into college. You're going to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on college textbooks that you'll never read, even once.
The Kansas says they want secondary royalties. Get out of here. He says, get that stuff out of here.
Unless they decide that they bring in enough altogether from royalties to reduce primary prices, which would be an amazing fucking use case.
Hell yeah.
But they will never do that. They'll just pad their stats.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, but that would make sense because they're obviously trying to make as much as possible. But I don't see how this would be any different of, someone just selling it, OTC to another student or whatever, than having to go through his NFT and give up royalties and stuff. Like why go through that hassle? I don't know if this is gonna onboard any new users just because they want to sell their books on the blockchain. But I mean, it's a cool cause for it. But yeah, I feel like this is just
if it can onboard all of the college communities and a bunch of young people, then it can be really powerful. I think the best hope is that it increases competition, for the textbook market, right?
I tell you what, let's talk about something that is going to onboard a lot of people. How about you can now tithe in crypto if you're Catholic.
I thought you were going to go to the
assuming,
Instagram going global.
Me too. I had it up.
I was like, these segues are fucked, bro.
That's just awesome. What are you talking about? Practiced them all day. That was a nice segue. Hey, if you're Catholic, you got crypto?
I want to talk about this, but I saw the story for like 2 seconds. We need to have the story up on the screen.
You got me. You got us, Savage. You got us again, Savage.
Hey, it's a closing note. That's how we're gonna end it. If you're Catholic, you can donate in crypto.
We have to touch on this flow story before we pop off. If we want to hit the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Washington D.C. accepting crypto donations, I'm on top of this. So I love it.
Which Alex Jones going to host next week?
The flow?
Hopefully not.
This one?
I don't know, Savage.
Hey, there's a chicken run out there. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
All right.
Yo, shout out to the chicken run, bro. That was pretty good, man.
Where's Kagi?
Yeah, that's right. Where's Kagi? Fun episodes.
We're firmly off the rails here. If you're still here at the end of the episode, I hope you caught that that little announcement that we saw for 0.5 seconds. If you're here till the end of the episode, fuck it. Like, you're going to be here no matter what. So it doesn't matter that we're like completely botching the end of this episode. But Dapper is partnering with Instagram. They just announced this. I'm going to pull it up on my screen real quick. It says Dapper and Instagram. We partner with Instagram to let you show off your NFT collection directly on your profile. This feature is now live and will be rolled out gradually over the next month. So this I think, to Gift's point before the episode, I'm going to pop out here. But Gift's point before the episode was that they had made this announcement prior, right? It was like a meta kind of announcement. It looks like they're kind of just like now rolling this out, which is why you see Dapper kind of coming out and saying, yo, this is happening. Flow's price, which I don't need to pull up, but Flow's price is up 70% in the last 30 days, 44% in the last 7 days, which of that is over in the last 24 hours after this announcement. So Flow doing extremely well. I loved it at 40. I'm not, but I love to see it up to $2.70 too. Fun time.
I still don't know how to buy it. I still don't even know how to buy Flow where I'm at. So I don't know, man. FTX? All right.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it's FTX now, right? Yeah. Sam's got you.
Sam. SB. All right. Gift, thoughts on, other than where to actually buy Flow, what does the Dapper Instagram piece mean? Do you like Instagram's kind of entrance into this space? I know we've been talking a lot about big brands here this past week.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that has a massive potential to bring in a lot of new people, onboard a lot of new people. We've talked about it a couple of times. I'll hit a couple high level headline things, right? Instagram is one of the largest communities in the world. Meta, it's actually Meta, right? So it's not just Instagram, it's Instagram and Facebook that are doing this together, right? Because Meta owns both. So this is the largest community in the world, actually, when you think about Meta. It has like 3 billion users, something like that. And then specifically within the Instagram ecosystem, it's like the biggest creator community and one of the biggest brand communities of all time. So imagine the potential to onboard a ton of new brands and creators all at the same time into digital collectibles. It's basically like a Trojan horse way to get them onto the blockchain, into NFTs without them having to deal with crypto or NFTs directly, right? So I'm very, very bullish about the potential. One of the things that, I'm not a huge fan of Zuckerberg. I'm not a huge fan of Meta, really, but that doesn't change the fact that they are a massive player and that what they do does matter to the larger ecosystem. One of the things that I am very happy about is that instead of just like pushing their own blockchain and their own coin, they are integrating with Ethereum, with Solana, with Flow, and with Polygon, right? Which are actually at least more decentralized, Ethereum being the most decentralized coin that's out there. That to me actually gives me a little bit of hope that this isn't going to be a total like fuck up or really destroying the community, but actually has potential to bring more people into the community. I don't know. So what's happening now is just that they're rolling it out globally. Instagram is rolling out their NFT product globally, and that's why you're starting to see more of a pump. But yeah, this has been announced, I think, for a little while.
Snuck by me. I thought it was new news.
Take you muted.
I didn't
There
mute
we
him.
go.
Yeah, I got to say it to him this time.
I think one of the things you touched about, like just using the tokens as far as Ether and stuff. I want to touch on just real quick ApeCoin, just because it's had a few news this week as far as, you know, Gucci accepting ApeCoin, Tag Heuer, and now 10KTF, instead of rolling out their own, you know, token, they're actually gonna be powered by ApeCoin. So using those, you know, at the time, you know, it hadn't been rolled out yet. It wasn't on the chain or anything. You just had, you know, your Neo Tokyo dollars, the NTD, and you gained that by, like, you know, points by running the missions, all that stuff. And that was supposed to be converted into tokens or whatever, you know, whatever the conversion rate was going to be. So instead of being actual token, they actually went with using ApeCoin, being powered by ApeCoin. Now, the conversion rate was 85-1 on the Neo Tokyo dollars to ApeCoin, but, you know, it's still something. I thought that was smart by them, instead of rolling out their own token, because right now I don't think it's the right time to roll your own token, because people are just going to dump it anyway. But using an established coin, something that's being used a lot more often now, utilized by brands and all that stuff, I felt like on their part was pretty smart. And I guess it just kind of confirmed all the speculations that everyone had, that, you know, somehow Bored Apes were correlated with 10KTF and that ecosystem. I think that project 10KTF was a slow build up to where it is now. And I feel like in the bear market, these are the kind of projects you want to kind of get behind and look into further, because the lore is there, the team is there, and they've been kind of quiet, just building in the background, you know.
Is Yuga behind 10KTF?
There's like a partnership. Yeah, it's like a partnership.
I'm not a 10KTF expert, but I've seen people speculating, and it wouldn't surprise me, because there's a lot of like hidden hints and stuff like that in some of their content too.
Yeah, that's what there's always speculation.
Like,
yeah. And then there's all the team behind, like Guy Series behind it. Beepo's obviously behind it as well. So, you know, there's always that correlation between these different teams. But there's obviously definitely some type of partnerships coming. People are speculating of some certain drops for 10KTF holders from Bored Ape, supposedly soon. So, you know, there's all these things are just speculation now. But some of the confirmation was yesterday when they confirmed the whole ApeCoin thing. A lot of people were kind of, you know, hoping that the rumors were true, that ApeCoin was going to be somehow involved in the ecosystem. And yesterday was confirmed that they are going to convert their Neo Tokyo dollars into ApeCoin.
I feel like on the user level, the community would have gotten more value, like per user, if they had created their own token. You know what I mean? Like doing this ApeCoin drop and merging into that ecosystem. Of course, apes weren't going to be like, yo, absolutely come to this ecosystem and dump a bunch of ApeCoin on us that you've been earning via your, you know, I think they would have gotten more per user, but it's easier. It's an easier like mode into moving into a token. A lot of, you know what I mean? So and give to pile on to the connection there. Other side's going to have some features for 10KTF as well. Been kind of hinted at as well. So there's these like back end room deals that are happening, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
No segue for that? No back end segue?
I mean,
speaking of back room deals,
you could talk about you know, that being a joke. And
you should see what kind of backroom deals are being done on the Tinderverse right now.
Thank you.
We know what Gift did when he left. He was going to sign up. It's okay.
Yeah, had to check
got
it. Checking those messages.
Thanks
All
for
right,
tuning
folks.
in today.
Yeah, Savage, you take it away, man. Yo, appreciate it again. I'm mirroring what Savage just said. Thank you guys for tuning in. We do these every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm back. I'm not on vacation. I'm not dealing with bullshit. We are running an NFT Live on Monday. So hopefully you guys can be there. Otherwise, we do have a Fun Uncle episode on Sunday. See you guys there. Crawley Town tomorrow, playing at home for the first time since WAGME took them over. I'm going to continue shilling that until we are fucking in League 8. And we just like have just been relegated to, I don't even know, but I will be watching. But yeah, guys, great episode.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch Easy Street yesterday, that was a good one. It was pretty funny. Speakeasy
Speakeasy Street?
Oh, that's right. The name changed. Now they got Kane
Yeah,
on
Thursday nights on Twitter. Check us out. Follow Easy, follow Kane. They're fucking hilarious.
That was
It's a good
super funny.
time. Yeah, jump on in, take a listen, jump on stage, try to keep up with Kane. You probably can't, but just try your best. But definitely check it out. It's a good time.
It'll be entertaining.
It's a hill. Yeah, it's a Hills have eyes wide shut party every time. It's great. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go. Have a good one.
Tuscaloosa. I'll see you there.
NFT Tuscaloosa, let's go. Our vibe, our tribe.
OVOT.
Yeah, there it is. OVOT.
Tomorrow is so frozen. I just saw the bag, it's a real good morning. And I'm burning all my gas, but I made a couple thousand. It got me saying, GM, good morning. I hope you make a place in a bear market, just trying to make a way, yeah. And these goblins crowding up the space, but it's kind of funny, so it's all good with me, yeah. Good morning, I hope you live it well. Counting up the spread, taking care of yourself, eh. Good morning, I hope you living good. Hopefully this heat gon' get us out of here. GM, now my wrist so frozen. I just saw the bag, it's a real good morning. And I'm burning all my gas, but I made a couple